Hey, everybody. My name's Via Williams. I know a lot of you already. I'm with Ben Kinney Companies, and today is Wednesday at noon Pacific. And that means we are here for our Wednesday webinar, where every single week we bring you an amazing agent or panel of agents that I think are the best in class, going over really cool tactical things to make your business better. We try, our goal anyway, our mission in these is to give you 1 to 3 things that you can walk away with and use within an hour of every webinar. So this is the middle of our series where we're taking the most common lead generation levers that most agents use, and we are walking them through, or we're walking through those, I should say, until we get to business planning. And business planning is going to be in 2 weeks, by the way. So we'll get you more information on that. And so we've done, we had Rachel here before. We did door knocking, which is a really big source for people. We didn't do open houses in this series, by the way, because we have a really good open house training already. So you can find that on our YouTube channel, or Robin can put the link in the chat on that. But we've done internet lead conversion. We did that last week. We're going to be doing FISBOs, all sorts of them, right? We've got a Sphere coming up next week. Today, this is a huge one. Today we have social media, and a lot of you guys saw me do door knocking with Rachel Adams. And if you remember, I invited her back because she just dropped in, just casually, that she got 131 referrals from social media last year. And I'm like, hi, stop. Not only do you need to talk to us about door knocking, you need to come back and talk to us about social media. So this today is Rachel totally giving us a huge, huge blessing. She's going to go through her social media class that people pay for. And she's going to go through it today for us for free, which is amazing. And we're just going to kind of walk through it and figure out how Rachel does what she does. So thank you, Rachel, and welcome.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday, eating lunch while you're watching this. You're going to want to take a lot of notes, just heads up. So you might have to set the fork down and take some notes, because this is I'm told coaching with me is kind of like drinking out of a fire hose. So get ready.
Well, that's awesome. That's what we love about you. Most of our webinars, I encourage everybody to throw us on when you're in your car driving. I will say, I think this is one webinar that you probably need to be in front of a screen for. Yeah. Not that you can't listen to it at first and then watch it on a replay that way, right? And any of you ever wondering where our replays are, they're on the Ben Kinney YouTube channel. And there's a whole playlist. It's called the Agent Training Playlist, right? And every single one of these that we've done is on that. So the other place you can get to it is we link to it on our benkinneyagenttraining.com. And anytime we have downloads or anything, any items of value, you can always just go to benkinneyagenttraining.com, and that's where everything lives. You can get everything on there. You can get on our mailing list so that you can kind of be kept apprised of these and other trainings we do. So enough about that. Rachel, tell everybody where you're from and tell us all a little bit about yourself before we launch in.
All right. So thanks for having me back. I love my Ben Kinney crew. So my name's Rachel Adams Lee. I am in Northern California. So I'm actually in El Dorado Hills right now in my home office. It was our formal living room, but no one needs one of those. So during the pandemic, we slapped some shiplap up and put some French doors on, and now it's my office.
Nice. Yes. Right? I like
it. So I've been in real estate now 9 years. So when I got into real estate, it was 2012. Short sales, REOs, it was a really challenging market. And as you guys know from our last class, I actually started my business door knocking. So knocking 200 doors a week, doing 3 open houses a week. And remember, I didn't sell any homes those first 4 months. However, sold 39 homes the first year, then 109, then 123. So 3 years in, I found myself as Wall Street Journal's top 1,000 agents in the country. Still have that designation today. We're currently number 43 for small teams in the US, and I am still in production. I'm the lead listing agent on my team. And I will tell you though, while I started my business with door knocking and open houses and I loved it, I realized that when I'm knocking on one door, I can have one conversation at a time. But with social media, I could talk to the thousands of people simply with the click of a mouse, right? And so I decided that I was really going to use that as a focus. And, we talk about our different lead gen levers, right? Or the different pieces of lead gen you're going to focus on. And I was so tired of getting burnt out by lead generation that I wanted to find something that gave me energy and made me excited to do it versus like sucked the living energy out of me. And I was like, just give me a martini and call it a day. So I found social media.
No martinis for you. Is this where we tell everybody you're pregnant?
Yeah, this is happening. So no martinis right now. However, as soon as this little guy is out, like load me up. Dirty
martinis all the way. I'm with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll have like a virtual and we'll just have martinis and I'll hold a newborn. It'll be fine. So yeah, I mean, when I first started to focus on social media, it was really interesting because I remember that everybody said we're like used car salesmen and we're slimy. And I'm 26 years old and I'm like, why does everyone think that of us? And I realized it was because most realtors were just about what they could get, how much money they could make. And I thought, well, what if we add value? What if every single day I thought, how could I add value to my clients, my community, my friends, other realtors around the country? And things just started to happen. So when I first started focus on social media, we got like 17 referrals, then it was 30, then it was 50. And then last year during the pandemic, 131 referrals came through. And I'll tell you, like I started on Facebook. That was my like main platform. And then when I feel like I got that dialed, I moved over to Instagram. And then when I feel like I got that dialed, I moved over to YouTube. So what we're going to talk about today, and Via and I are really going to dig in with you, is how I built this business. It doesn't matter if you're selling houses or you're selling socks, right? Like if you're passionate about it and you follow this model, it works. And we're going to address the algorithm, right? That confusing, sexy word that everybody wants to be a part of, but they also want to be, but they like don't know what it is. We're going to break it all down for you today. And Via said you're going to get 1 to 3 things you can walk away with. You might have 57, but pick 1 to 3 at a time that you focus on.
There you go. That's what I meant. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
That's the jam.
So are you going to share your screen and launch us, get us started?
Sure. Let's do it. Okay. Don't judge my desktop, people. It's organized chaos.
That would be like judging mine because it looks like mine.
Okay. So kind of like Via said, so I actually teach a full 8-week class on how to build a business through social media. And what we're going to do today is just kind of go through the slide deck and give you some of the really good meaty pieces of it. And just to share with you, so we actually have 2 different kinds of referrals that I want to talk to you about when we're building through social media. We're going to give you agent to agent referrals, right? So that 25% getting to know agents around the country. Then we're going to talk about client and community referrals because both of them are equally as important. And I kind of want to walk through both with you. This is my bio slide. Really, I just want to show it to you because my kid's cute.
Because he's so cute.
So cute. Okay, so this is kind of where I want to start. And this is actually just a picture of my real estate team. You're going to see our logo here. You're going to see our team slogan is we live here, we work here, we're here for you, right? So whether I am doing door knocking, I'm doing circle prospecting, I am have an open house sign, I have a listing panel, a business card, an e-banner, every single thing is going to say we live here, we work here, we're here for you. Why? Because we live in the community, we work in the community, and we're here for the community. And for me, like my goal is for people to always know that they can count on us. Because like Via, think about how many realtors you know who get into the business, can't hack it, and get the heck back out.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, what does that tell our audience? It tells us they can't trust us because we're going somewhere. And so what I believe in for real estate and what I've really learned is consistency matters, whether it's consistency with lead gen, consistency with marketing, consistency with social media. People want to know they can count on you. And so your marketing, I want you to think of your marketing, like your brand, what you put out there is a reflection of who you are on the inside. Right. And so I always think like, what message am I sharing? What is my brand that I'm telling other people about? So this is the model, you guys. This is a really meaty slide. And Via, I mean, ask any questions, like I pipe in wherever you want.
I will. So far I'm good. I think so far I keep going. I will definitely not be shy jumping in though.
Okay, cool. So this model is kind of what I've broken down how to build a business into when you're doing it around social media. The first thing people always ask me is, Rachel, where do I even start? Because I feel like with social media, there's all this pressure to be everything to everyone all the time, right? Have the perfect hair, the perfect family, the perfect life, the perfect job, the perfect car. And it's exhausting. And, I think too, like, when you're always trying to be something for everyone else, you kind of forget like who you actually are and what makes you happy. And that was definitely happening for me. So I decided I was going to like pull everything back and figure out what actually made me tick. And so if you're watching this, I want you to take some notes and I want you to write down 1 through 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because we're going to help you figure out your passions, your pillars, what you're going to talk about on social. Because reality is, people aren't following you. They're not friends with you because you're a realtor. They're not. They might have found you because you're in real estate, but they stick around because of who you are and how you make them feel. Okay. So number 1 for every person, you're going to write down real estate, right? Because that's the industry you're in. But then 2 through 5, that's going to be up to you. Maybe you like clean eating and working out. You'd write it down. Maybe you like hunting and fishing. You'd write it down. Maybe you like shopping or DIY projects, or if you're married and you have kids, you hopefully like them, right? You write that down. And my goal for you is to have 5 different things that you can post about on social media. And if
okay, I do want to break in there. Can I break in there really quick? Yeah. So how that was taught to me, and I just want your take on this.
Yeah.
How that was taught to me is that people need to know what they're going to get when they come onto your page or your account, like, Instagram or whatever. Like if I want to, so I have this like secret little guilty pleasure that I'm about to admit to thousands of people right now, which is I love watching cake decorating videos on Instagram. I know. You were all expecting something way more juicy.
I was expecting like a dirty something. I was like,
I know,
girl.
I know. I like watching cake decorating videos. And so there are a couple go-to accounts that when my brain needs a break throughout the day and I just need to chill for a few minutes, that I know what to expect when I go.
Yep.
And then like, I also have some like influencer accounts that I like, and I know what to expect. I'm going to see lifestyle, I'm going to see decor, I'm going to see fashion. Like I know what I'm going to get when I go there, right? And so I think that what I love about your 5 passions is that you're starting to train people like, this is what you can expect when you come to my site. You're going to see some houses, you're going to see whatever you're going to launch into. But do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with social media is you have to think, with every post you make, with every story, with everything you're doing, you are either educating or entertaining. You're either educating someone or entertaining them. And so again, it just really comes down to like how you're going to offer value to people, because they might come to your page because of a specific reason, but they stick around because of who you are, right? And so kind of just to jump into number 2, I first want to address the algorithm, because like Via, if I ask you what the algorithm is, what would you say?
I would say it's what on Instagram, what comes onto the Explorer page, what comes onto my page when I log into Instagram, what's coming on my feed. On Facebook, I would say, whose posts I'm seeing come through.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if it's right or wrong, but
no, totally fair. The people feel like this algorithm is like, it's like this confusing word where it's like, you want to be a part of it. You kind of want to beat it. You want to see it, but you want to you don't know, but you want to know. And so I like to break down the algorithm by simply saying it's the impact and the influence you have on social media. So we're going to talk about you because you're growing your business. Okay. And we'll talk about how other people are going to see you and how you can see them, but it's the impact and the influence you have on social. Simply put, the algorithm is how many eyes you'll get on your content. Same thing like Via just said, it's the people she sees. The algorithm is choosing the people she sees based off what she's interested in and who she interacts with. So how do you make yourself that person that's in front of Via, that's in front of me? Because you're going to want referrals from her, right? You want to build a business and grow a relationship with her. And so I want you to break it down even further. Think of like Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, you can make a post, you can comment on something, you can like something, you can send an audio text, you can do a reel, you can do IGTV, you can go live, right? Like I just named like 7 things. I want you to think of the algorithm like every one of those things is a tool. And the more tools you use on social, the more eyes you'll get on your content. And, if you Google like the best time to post on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, You'll get like 7:12 in the morning till 8:14. You guys, don't stress about that. Number two, I want you to post first thing in the morning. When you wake up in the morning and you're ready for social media, you're going to make your post. The reason for that, you have the most amount of time for people to respond throughout the day. It's as simple as that. People get so hung up and stressed out. Make it when you're ready for social. And I believe in being proactive in my real estate business versus reactive, right? Because like, you know how it goes. You're like, get ready in the morning and you're like, I'm going to do lead generation. And then all of a sudden, like the phone rings and the appraisers can't get in the house or the lockbox didn't get installed or like whatever. You drop what you're doing, you race downtown, you call MLS, you can't get in, like all the things. 2.5 hours later, you're back, your lead gen's gone. I realized early on in my business, I had to be proactive about my business versus reactive. So I simply hired a runner. I'm like, anything needs to be done that isn't the highest and best use of my time, I'm going to hire someone else who can get in their car and get it done. Well, social media is no different for me. And if you're anything like me, when I would wake up in the morning, I'd grab my phone and I'd start scrolling. And I'd see like the mom who just made her kids handmade lunches and wrote a love note in there, or the person who just drank their green smoothie, or someone who just completed their workout, or someone who sold their 100th house and it's like February. And you're like, what the heck? Like, I just woke up and I'm already behind for the day. Like, this sucks. And so I realized that was happening. And I was like, I don't want to wake up and already feel less than. Like, it's a crappy feeling. So I decided to be proactive. I would prep my post ahead of time. So literally in my phone right now, I have my next like 4 or 5 posts ready to go. I have my hashtags stored ahead of time. I'm going to tell you guys the name of this app that I use. It's called Google Keep. And Robin, if you can stick that in the show notes or in the comments for everybody, that would be amazing. But it's an app that I use and I store everything in there. I have my posts ahead of time. I have my hashtags in there. I have like a grocery list that I can collaborate and add my husband onto that we can change in real time. You can do a to-do list with your admin. Super, super cool.
Google Keep, it's called? Because I do all this all on my iPhone notes, but that's great.
So do iPhone notes work with other like users? Can you send it to a Google phone person?
No one in my world doesn't use Apple. So I don't know.
Well, I married
it's not
one.
allowed. It's not
I married
allowed.
one. It's like the constant argument in our house. He has his Samsung, whatever.
No, it's not allowed.
Apple. Right.
It's not allowed. Yeah.
Well, if you have any of those crazy
Google Keep, I like Google Apps. So that's really good to know. That's awesome. I also, Rachel, I have like all my hashtags on my iPhone notes. Like I have like my mom hashtags, my real estate hashtags, my podcast hashtags, my, whatever too.
Which is smart because then you're not reinventing the wheel. If we have any time at the end, I'll show you, but if not, no worries. I have an app that I use called hashtag, shocking. And when you go in, you can type in like a realtor or boss mom or whatever, and it will give you the 30 most researched hashtags in relationship with that hashtag.
I use the same one.
Do you? Yeah. Such a time saver.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to post first thing in the morning. Then number 3, people are always say like, well, how much do I post about real estate and how much am I posting about my personal life? And I will tell you, I want you to abide by the 80-20 principle. 80% of what you post, it's you guys. It's who you are. It's what you're doing. It's what you're reading. It's what you're eating. It's what makes you tick as a person. 20% is going to be real estate. Only 20%. And it doesn't have to be like buy, sell, invest in real estate today. Like I'm going to give you some actual like tactical posts that you can do. So I told you guys I'm a real estate coach, but in my mastermind group, I actually have content calendars that I give people that get like massive interaction as well. And then second part to number 3 is 2 kinds of pages. So I'm often asked, do you need a business page or a personal page? Now I am going to use Facebook for my example for this because that's like that was really where this makes such a difference. You need to have both. But to be honest with you, all 131 referrals, you guys, they came to my personal page. Why? Because people work with people they like and they like you. But they want to know what you're doing. They want to know what you're reading. They want to know what you're eating. Like they want to know what makes you tick. Now, the business page on Facebook is super important. And I'm going to tell you why. Number 1, if you have reviews and testimonials, that's where you're going to want to put them. Now you can have different platforms, obviously, that you use for your reviews. And I will tell you, there is so much money that is sunk into Facebook with Google that they're going to give you some street cred if you have reviews and testimonials on there. And then the other reason is if you type in Rachel Adams Lee Realtor, my business page is going to come up, not my personal page. Because if I'm going to boost a post or do a command ad or whatever you're going to do, it's going to come to your business page, not your personal page. So your
that was what I was going to say. You can't run an ad unless you have a business page. So you have to have
credibility. Yes, exactly.
Ads. Yeah.
Yep. And then you flip the rule. So 80-20 on your personal page, but on your business page, it's 80-20. So 80% is business and 20% is personal. And I'm not like sharing a green smoothie. I'm like sharing a family photo or something like that makes me appear more like human and normal. Okay. Number 4, how often are we posting, my friends? So if you were to join my real estate team today, you would get to sign, not have to, you would get to sign a social media addendum. And it basically says that you'll be posting a minimum of 3 times a week. Now, obviously, since this is what I do for a living, I do a lot of training around social with my team. But on our team call every Monday, we say 3 things. We say something great that happened over the weekend. We set our goal for the upcoming week. And we say our 3 social posts we're going to make that week. Now, why would I ask my team to share their social posts on our Monday call? Because we're proactive. I want them looking at their calendar ahead of time, thinking about their 5 passions and seeing where they have opportunities to go through those passions and share their content. Funny story that I can share with you, V, but I had a guy call me and he was like asking me, he was like, hey, just curious, he left a voicemail. He's like, hey, my name's Joe. I'm in Kentucky. And I was curious if you are that couch realtor, because I have a listing referral for you. And I'm like, couch realtor? Like, what the heck is this guy talking about? Right. And I'm like, what's a couch realtor? And so I call him back and I was like, hey, my name's Rachel. I'm top agent in the area, but I just wanted to check really quickly, like, what is a couch realtor? He was like, oh, let me explain it to you. So what had happened was, so this pregnancy that I have right now, it's a high risk pregnancy. And so I was on bed rest from a hemorrhage, no big deal, for the whole month of July. And because I was on bed rest, I'm sitting around my living room and I'm like looking around and I tell my husband, this is like Sunday night, I'm like, Ryan, don't you think we need a lighter couch? And he looks at me and he's like, no, this couch is just 1.5 years old. And I was like, I know, but don't you think we need a lighter couch? And he rolls his eyes because he knows what he married. And he's like, whatever you need to do, Rachel. And so this is Sunday night. By like Monday afternoon, I feel like you'll appreciate this. I had new rug, new couch, new curtains.
Nobody gets furniture that quickly right now. There are supply chain issues.
I picked them out.
Oh, you picked them out. So they weren't delivered. Okay.
No, they weren't like delivered. That doesn't happen in real life. Unless you're like Kim Kardashian. But so I picked him out and then I show him, I'm like, so excited. I'm like, look what we're going to get. And he's like, how much money are you spending? And I was like, oh, don't worry. I was like, it's totally fine. Cause I'm going to sell everything we have. He's like, okay. So I go on Facebook Marketplace and I list my couch. I list all the things. And I don't know, have you ever used Facebook Marketplace?
Well, someone in my husband, I haven't, but the royal, we have used it.
Right.
But I haven't.
So it is like a freaking joke sometimes. Like you'll post something for $400 and someone's like, I'll offer you 75. You're like, what, like wackos out there. And so I was having all these crazy people that were either not showing up, flaking, offering crazy things. And so I went on Facebook and I made a little rant about Facebook Marketplace and all the nutso people that are out there. And like, has anyone experienced this? And this thing went like viral, V. I had like agents from all around the country, people from high school, people who I haven't talked to in months and years, just commenting.
Viral how? Like, because they were agreeing with you?
Because everyone had an opinion on Facebook Marketplace. It was like everyone had that experience. And what had happened is in that agent who called for the referral and called me the couch realtor, they have a thing where if they need a referral in their team meeting, they can stand up and say, hey, I have a referral partner that I need in Northern California or Washington or wherever. And someone stood up and said, oh my gosh, I know that girl. Who is she? She's that couch realtor. So I got a $700,000 listing in Rockland, which is one of my areas I serve in California, because of selling a couch on Facebook.
But see, you know what I love? Like the fact they called you a couch realtor proves literally it came from social media. Because like you would only know that story if you saw it, right?
Exactly. But I mean, that's the thing, right? I'm in front of people. And I mean, you and I talked about it on our last interview with door knocking, but we talked about like the Nordstrom example, right? Like you will work with the person who's right in front of you, not the person who came to you first, the person who stays right in front of you. Most people, when they sell their house, they don't go back to the realtor who sold them the house because they didn't keep in touch with them. But you're sitting there doing that listing presentation because you're the one in front of them. And so what I realized with social media is I have the opportunity to be in front of thousands of people, but what am I saying? What message am I sharing? What value am I offering? Right now, number 4 for me. So I talked about if you're on my team, post 3 times a week. I post 5 to 7 times per week. Now that is posts. And I have 5 different passions I'm talking about. So like, if you look on my Instagram, you'll literally see me go through real estate entrepreneur, like personal growth, self-love, marriage and kids. Like you'll see my different passions and I just filter through them. And I know people follow me for different reasons. And like that's how I've built this whole thing, you know? But again, like you said, they know what they can count on when they come to my page. Like my goal is to inspire people, educate people, make them feel something. And then by the way, when you need a realtor, I happen to be a pretty dang good one. You know what I mean?
So I'm curious, are you hard and fast on 5 things? Like what if it was 3?
So you could have 3 things. My only concern would be you'd be missing out on potential people. Like you don't just have 3 things that make up who you are. You're not just a realtor and a wife and a mom. You're like a really good friend. You're hilarious. You have ridiculous joke taste when it comes to coffee. And like, you have all these pieces to you, right? That like, but I mean, like, there's so much to you. And it's like, I know when I like, if something happens in my life, I know the different reasons I would come to you to chat about them. Whereas if you only talked about 3 things, I might think, oh, she's not really a good person to talk to about that because she has no experience. So it's like figuring out the 5 things that make you tick. Then you have 5 different things you can post about. And then you can take 2 days off during the week. Like if you want to take the weekend off to be with your family or whatever, you can do that. I've just found if you're truly going to use social media as a business building platform, you pick 5.
So when you say post, are you talking stories or posts?
I'm talking posts. So post is 5 to 7. Stories, to hit the current algorithm, the minimum number you want to do per day is 10. 10 stories per day with the current algorithm. The algorithm changes 3 to 4 times a year. I happen to have gone to college with someone who works at Facebook. So we're very fortunate to find out ahead of time, usually what's going to happen with the algorithm change. However, what I will tell you is, you know, with stories, people get really stressed about them. They're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. Like when I first met Ryan, so my husband, you know, he's a mechanical engineer, and before I met him, I had never had anything that I loved more than real estate. So I was super stoked to work, 7 a.m. till 10:30 at night and have zero boundaries. But when I met him, he was like, hey, I kind of feel like when we, like say we're going to a pumpkin patch with Henry, he's like, you're so concerned with getting your content that you're missing the moment with our family. And that's a real thing. And when you're on social media a lot like that pressure is there to make sure you're capturing your life. What I've learned is I can go to that pumpkin patch. I can snag my pictures, get a couple stories, and then put my phone away and I post it later. Like I went to a pumpkin patch literally 2 weeks ago. I haven't posted it yet. When I post it, people will think I'm there right then, but it doesn't matter. They don't need to know what's actually happening in your world every dang second of every day. But the stories are a fun thing because it's kind of like a behind the scenes. Like I'm a lot messier and like what not as planned in my stories, but my posts are much more thought out. Usually have the spelling errors corrected. My stories are like a hot mess.
Okay, here's what's funny. It's funny to me that people stress about stories because I'm the complete opposite. Stories I just throw up there, they're going to be gone. I mean, they're easy. It's the posts I stressed about because those stay, like those feel permanent. Like that's funny to me that people would stress on stories, but
a lot of stress. Well, I think again, it's just the pressure. There's the comparison out there where you have to be like the other the mom or the husband or the this or the that, or like they've sold 700 houses and you've sold 100 and you're like, no, everyone's in different places in their life. And as long as like you can go to bed and be a good person and wake up the next day, like you're doing great. It's just, you really, that's why I like the 5 passion thing, because for me, it's like, I'm not everything for everyone else. I am who I am. And I'm really it's taken a long time and I still work on it, but it's like, I I would obsess. I would lose sleep. I would get stomach aches over what people thought of me. Like really, really, it really bothered me. And then I realized like, I'm not the right cup of tea for everybody. Like not everybody wants like a super peppy, positive blonde in their life. Like sad for them, but like,
everyone needs that. And they just don't know it.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. But like, you know, you just, no matter what you do, you're going to have haters. And it just is what it is. Like, I remember one time I posted, Ryan and I went to a pre-marriage retreat before we got married. And I had this woman write me and she was so livid. She was like, how dare you? You have a perfect relationship. There's no reason for you to be going to marriage counseling. Leave the counselors for people like us who need help. And I was like, what?
Wow.
And she was so angry. And I was like, chick, first off, like you need help. Secondly, I was like, listen, like I'm so sorry if something I wrote offended you. I was like, I'm doing what's best for me and my family. And I suggest you do the same. Like, but so this is the thing. I was talking about going to a marriage retreat and it upsets someone. It's like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting trigger. Wow.
Okay. I could show you. I had someone who like called out my belly button one time. They're like, is that tattooed on? I'm like, what? Like weirdest message. I always send them, show them to Ryan because I get like wackos out there. Okay. Number 5, time block for response time. So this little buddy right here, you guys, this can be your best friend or your absolute worst nightmare. And the thing about having your phone, especially in our business, is someone's always going to need you. Your phone's always going to ring. You're always going to text. You're always going to have an email, which is a good problem when you're building your business, and it can stress you out. So 5, 6, and 7 of my model, I've really put around the algorithm and beating it because, you know, I told you number 2, I post first thing in the morning, right? What I do is I set my calendar reminder an hour after I make my post. I go back in and I comment, I private message, I engage with everyone who engaged on my post. And what that does is it wakes up the algorithm. It says, oh, she made a post using a tool. She commented, she liked, she sent a message. She used 4 different tools. She's doing this the right way. Let's give her some more eyes. Let's give her some more eyes. And then an hour before the end of the day, just my preference. I like to do social after I'm done with my emails and my client meetings, listings and all that. I will set another reminder and respond to everybody. So twice throughout the day, I'm back on social connecting with everybody. That includes responding on my stories, all that kind of stuff. Number 6 is all about engagement. The point of doing social is to have engagement. A lot of people are like, Rachel told me I need to post today. Did it, done for the day. And they like, peace out. But if you don't go back and take the time to engage with those who took their time to connect with you, then you're not building a relationship. And like, you can start the relationship online, but when you go offline and you really get to know that person, like that's when the magic happens, right? So what I do, if I'm doing lead generation time for social, I'm not just like getting on social media and like commenting haphazardly. And then like all of a sudden 2 hours later, I'm watching a cat video on YouTube and I'm like, what's happened to my life? Right. It happens.
I'm like, did you see the guilty look on my face? Oh.
Well,
why do I always end up in a cat video? Okay.
Last night I showed my husband and Henry, there was this video of like a chicken with a puppy riding on its back. I don't know if you saw that in my stories. No. It's the cutest thing. I like kind of feel like we should show it to them. It's the cutest thing ever. So funny. But I watched it like 37 times. And
of course you did. Some of them are like literally like they're eye candy. I can't stop.
You've got to. Okay. So
by engage, you mean really interact with other people.
So yeah. And I'm going to give you kind of like a tool around that. So when I'm doing lead generation for social media, I will literally go. So I'm going to go on a post. Say I have like an anniversary post with Ryan and I. Okay. And it was like the anniversary posts are always higher producing posts, birthdays, because you get like happy birthday, happy anniversary. So what I do is I take the post, I go on my computer, I don't do this on my cell phone, and I click on the post. Now, say that Via likes my post and Robin comments on my post. Most of the time, I would only engage with Robin because she commented on my post. She's going to get my connection. The missing link, and honestly, like the golden goose, are your likes. It's Via who liked my post because she's literally saying like, hey, I see you. Hey, I'm watching. I'm right here. But she gets ignored. So what happens is I will go on, when I'm doing my lead gen, I will go on my computer. I will click on my likes. I will literally scroll over them, copy them, paste them into a Word doc and print it out. I know it sounds old school, but it works. And I literally go through one by one and I private message people. So someone likes your post, right? Tool, you're going to private message them. That's another tool. And what I do is I'm proactive. So I would look on Via's page and I would see if, Ben just graduated from college. I know too soon, but I would see what's happening in her world, right? Or I would see like what's going on, Aiden, not Ben. That would be really weird if Ben just graduated from college.
Michael, that would be Michael.
Michael, who's Aiden?
Aiden's my second. I have a lot of kids. I have a lot going on. It's just a lot.
All right. So Aiden just graduated from college. Okay. I would look at her page. I would see a milestone that happened in her world because I want to reach out to her specifically and show that I care. And it was something personal and something that resonated with me as well, because that's a big milestone for anyone. And I would reach out to Via through a private message and I'd say, hey, Via, thank you so much for, connecting with me on my anniversary post. Ren and I had the best time in Tahoe. Oh my gosh. I just saw that Aiden just graduated from college. What a huge milestone for you and Ben. Do you have any big plans for the rest of the year? Like, that's how I started real estate conversation with Via. It has nothing to do with real estate, you guys, nothing. And eventually when I'm asking Via about her family, what is she going to do for me? You're going to ask about mine and you're going to ask what's happening in my
reciprocity. Of course I am. Yeah,
totally. And so Via and I are going to get to know each other. And this is assuming we didn't know each other, right? So we're going to get to know each other. We're going to talk about all kinds of different things. And sometimes the natural transition takes like a week. Sometimes it takes a day. Sometimes it takes 4 weeks, but eventually I will say to Via, I've really enjoyed getting to know you these past few weeks. And I feel like we really align in our lives and kind of our belief system, which makes me think we probably would in our business as well. And I know that you live in Bellingham, right? Do you have a great referral partner in Northern California? Because I don't where you are, and I would love to be a referral partner for you and vice versa.
Yeah.
Guys, that's how I built relationships with agents all around the country. So like 131 referrals that came through, a lot of them are from other realtors because I've taken the time to get to know them and I genuinely care. I have friends all around the world. I have a friend in Dubai, right? Like I have friends all around the world that I met through real estate, but we stay connected because we have a personal connection.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where you want to get to. And then the last piece to this model before we move on to any examples is my rule of 555. So it's called Rachel's rule of 555. So at this very moment with the current algorithm, you're only able to see about 7 to 10% of your friends' content, 7 to 10% of your friends. What that means is like, if you're not seeing them, they're not seeing you. So think about when you go on Facebook or you go on Instagram, you see the same people's posts. You definitely see the same people's stories over and over and over again. But if you look at how many friends you have on social, it's hundreds, it's thousands. But you're not seeing them, which means they're not seeing you, which means you're definitely not top of mind for them. So how do you get around that? This is the rule. So every month, my real estate team, what we do is we take a pen to paper and we write down 25 names of people who we are already friends with, but we're not seeing their content. Okay. And you're doing 25 realtors who you want to have a better relationship with. Maybe it's 25 business owners in your local community. And then this is the rule. 5 minutes before you make a post, you're going to comment on 5 people's post, a comment of 5 words or more. I'll say it one more time. So 5 minutes before you make a post, you're going to comment on 5 people's post, a comment of 5 words or more.
People that you haven't seen on your feed.
They're your list year 25. Yep. So you pick 5 of them every time you make a post. And what starts to happen is like all of a sudden your story views go up, your comments go up, your engagement goes up on your social, and all of a sudden your referrals are coming out through your ears and you're like, what's happening? It's all of a sudden you're using social media the right way. You're engaging, you're connecting. Like the algorithm just changed. And the one thing that they're really encouraging is authentic, real connections. If you say comment below if, you can get put in Facebook jail for 24 hours because they feel like you're just trying to get comments and interaction. They want you to have genuine relationships. That's why they're limiting businesses so much on Facebook and Instagram, because they don't want you just seeing paid content. They want you having like real, genuine conversations and relationships with people.
I love that. So let's go. Let's spend the time that we have left. That was a really, really good overview and framework. in the time we have left, I'm hoping we're going to go through like examples and,
Yeah.
you know, resources for all this. This is
How much
awesome.
time do we have left with
About
everybody?
20 minutes.
Okay, cool. We can do it. Okay, so I'm going to dig through a couple examples with you guys, and please know if you're obviously, and this is going to be, so what you're watching right now live is also going to be recorded for you guys. And then, like you said, it's going to be on your YouTube channel. Like you can rewatch this because most likely you'll want to. But the next thing that we did is, you know, so I got into real estate and I was like, how can I add value to people? How can I make myself stand out from my competition? And so I sat down with my office, and I love a good drip campaign. Like I love when you get a new CRM, whether you're using Brivity or whatever you're using, that there is a drip campaign. My only issue is a lot of them are like the 5 ways to get your house ready to sell for springtime.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares about that, you guys. Like if you wake up in the morning and you check your email, if you're anything like me, I go through, I see who the sender is, and I go delete, 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 delete. Like I don't even open it because I know it's deletable. But the problem is most of us realtors are totally deletable, right? So how do you make yourself stand out? Well, you have to add value. So what we did is we took the year, we broke it down by month, and we said, how can we offer value 33 times throughout the year to our database, to our clients, to our community? So we're always the people that they want to refer business to. And what's cool now is like when somebody refers me business, they're never just like, oh, you have to work with Rachel, she's awesome. They're like, oh, you have to work with Rachel, she's awesome, because she does super fun stuff throughout the year after you're done working with her. And so they're excited to get my text, my email, right? They're excited to know. And I will give you guys a copy of this. I'll give it to Via so you guys can post it.
Yeah, BenKinneyAgentTraining.com is where we get everything.
And then if you guys want some other little trainings and free coaching that I've done, if you send an email at the bottom to thegoods@racheladamsleegroup.com, you'll get just like the number one way to hack the algorithm on Instagram and just door knocking tips and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm just going to walk through quickly and give you guys some examples of content pieces that I've done. All of these I've created on something called Canva, canva.com. It's my favorite graphic design. I am not the person who, sorry, close your eyes. You didn't see that. I am not the person who does design work, but I come up with the ideas, scratch them on a napkin and send it to my marketing gal. So I'm in California. When the pandemic first hit, we got shut down, meaning real estate was deemed non-essential. And I did what any smart, rational person would do. For 2 weeks, I just drank a lot of cocktails, and I was like, it's fine. It's going to be totally fine. And then we realized it wasn't going anywhere, and I had a real estate team to take care of and clients. And I was like, okay,
20 pounds later, we all realized we had to get up.
Like everyone from the pandemic comes out wearing yoga pants. I feel like we're like buttons.
Oh yeah, girl. Yeah.
So I looked at my database and I just said, how can I add value, but keep everyone safe and healthy? And obviously the pandemic's still here. No one would thought we'd be living through it, but we are. So I shifted and I pivoted. And so I picked up the best camping locations within 3 hours of where I am. And I can share that because that keeps people safe. 4th of July fireworks. I absolutely love sharing this. We do this in June. So in a normal world, we are door knocking and we have a piece of value on one side for real estate, like market stats, open house, whatever. And on the other side, we have a piece of content like this. So in June, we're sharing where to watch the fireworks on the 4th of July. In October, it's local pumpkin patch location.
Do you post this or email this?
Really good question. So I like all the platforms for these pieces of content. I will post them on my page, business page. I will also post it on my personal page. I will put it in my stories. We email it out to our database, and I also text message it out. Like by far my most responded to is text with my database, just because like that's the fastest. And they're just like, oh, thanks, Rach. However, I really do like to post this. And my favorite thing is like, I'll show one with you guys that went nuts for us. We got so many shares on it. Like you heard the term like went viral.
Yeah.
I'll get through it with you. But it, again, like you're just trying to come up with things that add value to people because you want to be the local expert in real estate, but even more so, you want to be the local market expert in their area. And when you constantly are adding value to their lives and giving them things to do on the weekend and fun ideas, they're not going to ever go to anyone else to buy or sell a house because you're the person who's always in front of them and making it fun. Client appreciation event. This is kind of a lengthy story, so I won't be able to get into it right now. However, we always like to rent out a movie theater, and we do, this was Toy Story 4. So we actually only text message this one out to our database, and it's a VIP client event. And so what would happen is, like, we host the event. We always do a raffle or something during it. And because I run a team, I can't do like, you can invite anybody you want. There's only a certain amount of seats. So it was 108 seats for the theater. Seats for the theater. That was a tongue twister. It was $1,800 to rent the theater. I split it with the lender, so it was $900 out of my pocket. We host the event. We got 4 referrals from this event, but I never posted the invite because I would have more people who could come than I had room for. But after the event, I post it. And I post it for the evidence of success, right? To show that we're agents doing fun things. And undoubtedly what's going to happen is you're going to have past clients that are like, what the heck? Like, why isn't I invited to this? And I always say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. This was actually our VIP client event. So you know how we do a bunch of client events and we invite you to them throughout the year? They're like, yeah. Like, so this is actually our VIP client event. So this is one of our special events we do only for the clients who referred us business last year. And they're like, oh. They're like, wait, but so all I have to do is refer you business? Yep. Someone who wants to buy or sell, and you get invited to the VIP stuff. It's like that takeaway, like everybody who wants what they can't have. And you never have to be apologetic about what you're doing in your business, because it's like your dang business. Where to see holiday lights, celebrating New Year's. I do like to do the New Year's one because I like to tag the businesses. And when the business share this, I'm not only in front of my sphere, I'm in front of theirs as well. This is the one that went crazy, went viral. So where kids eat free. Anybody who has kids know that you get really excited when you get free food for them because they eat a lot. And so literally Google where kids eat free locally in Arizona, Washington, Sacramento, wherever you're from. And you map out a little schedule. And I have people who put this on their fridge. They'll screenshot it. They'll text it to me. Like this thing, we posted it in local moms group. And I'm telling you, this thing just got shared so many times. And what do you notice every single time you see a piece of my content? It's consistently branded, same headshot, same font, right? I want to give people something to count on. Family Day in the Park. This one's really fun. So we're actually doing this November 5th of this year. And I'll tell you with like a client event, just to kind of walk you through it. I always have 4 goals with a client event, 4 goals. Number 1, I want to give back to my clients. Number 2, I want to give back to my community. Number 3, I want to help somebody build a business. And number 4, I want referrals. So how do I accomplish that with this event? So we do Family Day in the Park. We have little toys and games and things we do for the kids. It's a 3-hour event. So there's no fee to do the venue because it's outside in like a national park, right? Or a local park. Give back to my clients. They give them family photos for the holidays. Give back to my community. We always partner with a nonprofit. For this one, we're doing the SPCA. So we're having them donate a can of cat food or dog food. Number 3, help someone build their business. I tell the photographer, hey, if you give me a price break on this event, then I will give you the roster of all the families that you help take photos of. So I help someone build their business. And number 4, I always get referrals. So this one, we email to everybody. This is like emailed to our whole database. We text message it out. We have like time slots for them to sign up. And it's great for referrals. Best day trips. I'm just going to skip through. Oh my gosh. Santa mimosas, Easter bunny mimosas. I love mimosas. I'm a mimosa realtor. I mean, I think like I drink a lot, but I really don't. I just drink normal amounts. I just can't drink when I'm pregnant. So it's all I want to do. And then evidence of success, you guys, if you're going to be doing these different events and you're going to be sharing these 33 touches throughout the year, when you host something, whether it's a virtual something or it is in person, you want to make sure you share, because 99% of agents don't do what they say they'll do. And, I want you to be that 1%. I want you to be the one who actually does what you say you'll do and make that difference. Okay, I have 2 more slides for you. What's our time check?
Yeah, we're good. We're good on time.
Good. So think about the Facebook groups. So every time when there's a Facebook group, someone says, hey, who do you know in Sacramento? And all the same people are tagged over and over and over. And I remember being a new realtor being like, I'm a good realtor. Just give me a dang shot. But there's the fan clubs and there's this and that. And you're just like, there's no way I'm going to get this referral. And so I thought about it. I'm like, what if I was looking for a referral, what would make that person stand out for me? Not just the tags, but what would make them stand out? So I created this document, you guys, on Canva, and it is branded. It has my headshot. It has all the ways to contact me, and it shows the areas that I serve. Think about if this was your first impression working with someone, they took the time to have a marketing piece like this that shows they're the ultimate professional. And so when I was not the person most tagged in those referral groups. I'm still not the most tagged. And yet I get a heck ton of referrals from those groups. And it's because this is the first impression, not if you work with me, it's when you work with me, this is what you can expect. This is where I serve. This is my style. This is my vibe. And I've come up with like a little snippet that I send and I copy, it's in my notes, and I copy and I paste it every time I'm trying to land that referral. Okay, last piece, and I'm really excited to share this with you. So this is the importance of telling a story. So have you ever heard that quote in real estate that people might forget what you've said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel, right? We've all heard that.
Yeah.
And most people, when they have like a closing, they'll post like a Zillow review and be like, #love my career. The only person who likes that is like your mom and a couple of your realtor friends, but it's like, you don't get referrals from that. I will tell you that every single time I do a closing and I post a picture like this and a story, I get a referral. So I'm going to walk you through kind of like my style with this. Now, storytelling, there's definitely an art to it. I teach this a lot in my coaching class, but I'm going to give you a couple examples. So this one says, "Oh, you guys, this one is so personal to me. My in-laws just closed on their dream house. About 3 months ago, I sat down at a table with both of them and we went over their list of their perfect home. We called it the 15 must-haves in our forever home. We made a game plan and we went on our way. A little over a month ago, my sweet mother-in-law, Lori Lee, called me while we're in Texas at Mega Camp. Lori: Hi, sweetie. How are you? Me: I'm good, Mama. How are you? Lori: Oh, well, I'm great. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm scared. Me: Oh gosh, Mama, what's going on? Lori: I found my dream home, our forever home that I want to raise your unborn babies that I wasn't pregnant with yet in this home, and it builds memories and it hits all my 15 points, all 15. And I love it so much. Me: Oh, wow. Okay, well, let me call the agent and get the scoop and let's get it. No pressure, right? I'm so excited to share that we've closed on Lori and Clayton's forever home and we can't wait to fill it with lots of love, memories, and grandbabies. Please help me congratulate them. We did it.
Oh, I love that. That's
so
great.
345 likes, 84 comments on a real estate post. And this is before I engaged back with anybody. But I'm telling you, I'm very intentional about what I say and how I say it. Like, look at the things that are in all capitals. Yeah. Dream house and forever home, right? Yeah. We got 3 referrals from this post. 2 were people looking for their dream home that were similar age demographics. And then 1 was someone who was looking for their forever home and they had to sell in order to purchase. So we got 4 pieces of business from this. And I'll tell you too, you don't get the business you don't ask for. And I told you, if you say comment below, if you get put in jail. So my way around that is these little magic words at the bottom. Please help me congratulate them. You guys, I am asking for the engagement. I am asking for the comments. And what happens when you have this much interaction on one post is the algorithm is like, what the heck does this chick post? This is probably good. Let's give her more eyes, more eyes, more eyes. So people who might not see this post are now seeing it because it's a higher producing one. And I always like to make everybody jump. So getting 2 70-year-olds to jump was like definitely a feat. And I'm very thankful for the live feature on iPhones because I was like, you're still standing. Okay, one more example, and then we're going to close it out with you guys. But this is...
That's a jump.
That's a jump. I know, got all 3 of them at the same time. So meet Heather and Steve. Every home sale is special to me. I get the honor of helping people make one of the biggest financial decisions they'll ever make in their life. Take a look at the pure joy in these faces below. I got to help a friend who I've known for many years buy their dream home, and it was extra special, so I want to share her story. For the last 7 years and 8 months, Heather, Steve, and their family of 5 rented a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom home. It was 1,325 square feet. It was safe to say they were busting at the seams and also sick of having a landlord dictate all their decisions. To support their family, pay off debt, and save for their dream home, they worked hard. At one point between the 2 of them, they each had full-time jobs, a side business in video marketing, and drove for Lyft. Safe to say they were exhausted and burning the candle at both ends. They desperately wanted their own home, their own space, a place to call their own and make new memories with their family. When they called me, they told me their dream fell out of reach. They didn't know if they could qualify yet. They didn't know if they'd saved what they needed, but that's where I come in. We sat down, we looked at numbers, we talked about all the features of their perfect dream home. We set up a custom portal and we got to work. We knew we were in a super competitive market, but they also knew that I would fight for them. And then we found it, the perfect home. In a crazy multiple offer market, we got their offer accepted on their dream home. The closing costs, they were higher than hoped, yet we were able to negotiate a $12,000 credit for them. I'm so excited to share that Steve, Heather, and their 3 kiddos are proud owners of a beautiful home in West Sacramento. Please help me congratulate them. Their trust in me and the Rachel Adams Lee Group meant the world. Helping them along this journey meant even more. Giving them the keys that made us all cry. Where there's a will, there's a way, my friends. If you're thinking of buying or selling, it doesn't have to be stressful and frustrating. It can be fun, educational, and exciting. And in just that case, that person is you. I happen to know a great realtor. Okay.
I mean, you don't shy away from long. That's what jumps out at me. Like, you're not shying away from the long post.
Which I'm glad that you even bring that up, because so many people are so worried to like be too long-winded. It's a story, you guys. It's a story. It's like a mini book. You want to give people the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I'll tell you, like, we only got 1 referral from this post. However, 1 referral is amazing. Imagine if every time you did something, you got a referral from it. And I will tell you, this one has some really personal information in it. So I did send this one to my friend, Heather, ahead of time. And I'm like, hey, are you okay if I post all this? Because she knew I always do storytelling after. And she was like, are you going to tell her story? I was like, absolutely. And so I sent it to her ahead of time and she was like, friend, it was not 1,725 square feet. It was 1,300. Right.
I love that.
So even though I only got 1 referral, I got within 3 minutes of making this post, I got a private message from my friend, Ashley, and she's someone I've known for 10 years, but we've never met in person. 10 years ago, we used the same photographer and we connected through social media. So I've never met her, comment here and there. We're not close. We don't know each other's worlds, right? But she reached out to me and she said, hey, oh my gosh, the private message. She was like, thank you so much for sharing Heather and Steve's story. I'm so excited for them. Like, please give them a congratulations. I'm like, thanks, friend. And she said, I just wanted to tell you that I have a goal in 10 years. I want to buy a ranch property and build a farm. And I was like, I'm in 10 years. Let's do it. And she goes, so I have a problem. I'm like, what? She goes, my dream property just came on the market. She's like, I have to sell in order to purchase. I don't even know if I could qualify, but you said Heather and Steve didn't know if they could either. 6 weeks later.
No way. That is so cool.
20-acre parcel. They have that barn. I mean,
I just got goosebumps.
I know. The left side where the barn is, it's this gorgeous barn, like so
an indoor arena.
Huh? Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow.
The whole house the property was so pretty. It was 20 acres. They now have like horses and goats and chickens and
there's a dog floating on a floating dog carpet above it.
I know, right?
That's what I thought it was at first.
I know. It looks like it. And then they got their sheltie. But this is the thing, like, your goal, what should be with this, to just give people hope. And what you'll notice with my storytelling is it's all about the client, all about their journey, all about how they feel and their goal. At the very end, I sell myself, but I don't do it in a slimy way. Like the end of this one, it says, P.S. You never know what could happen if you just ask. I'm never going to push you or rush you or push you to do anything that's not in your best interest. I'm honored when people choose me to help them with their real estate goals. It's time for your happily ever after.
Hey, Rachel, can we go back to that really quick? Because I do work a lot with marketing and copyright and stuff. And one of the things that I just wanted to point out is when you're doing long posts, which I'm a fan of long posts as well, doing very short paragraphs, even 1 sentence paragraphs, sometimes you want to pull people down so that they keep reading. And so Rachel does a really good job. There's a whole bunch of paragraph breaks and you can even go sparser. Like don't be shy. What you guys want to not do is long paragraphs. So you can do a long post, but ideally it's pretty short paragraphs and you want their eye, you want them to keep reading. You want to pull them down, right?
Yeah. I love that.
So great job.
I'm going to add that into my training.
There you go. Happy to serve.
Okay, so if you guys want to connect with me, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you go to that YouTube channel, do me a favor and click the subscribe button, because a couple times a month I give free coaching. I just did how I rock an open house, which I learned from Via, so some of it's going to be very familiar. Or I think we just did one of knowing what your clients need before they know they need it. And then the last thing I want to share with you guys is a special opportunity. And this is for all the Ben Kinney agent training crew. So if you like what you learned today, or you got any value, or you're like, maybe I feel like I'm ready for a coach, but you don't want to spend, thousands of dollars yet. What you learned today is actually an hour of an 8-week masterclass called Hello Social, the little thing we're seeing on the bottom right side. So it's a social media masterclass specifically for realtors to teach you how to blow up your business through referrals. We obviously start with mindset, then we help you rebrand your business. I give you content calendars, learning how to gain new followers, but have deep relationships with the one you already have. And then we do deep dives into Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Obviously, those are the 3 that I've built. So whether you want to launch a YouTube channel and dominate video, or you're just like, Facebook is the platform I'm going to master and I want all my referrals through here. And so the way it works is you get a pre-recorded video that you download. And then you have a workbook and you get to watch them at your convenience, complete them around your schedule. And you have 6 months to watch the content. And then the first and third Wednesday of every month at noon, normally noon Pacific, not this one because I'm right here, but next Wednesday, what will happen is I do live coaching. So I do live coaching, and it's the first and third Wednesday usually of every month. And it's everything from like, hey, I made this post, I didn't get any traction, to I'm ready to take on my first luxury listing. How do I do it? To when do I hire my first admin? So the course is normally $9.99. You guys get it for $6.97. And then I even have a special code for you for watching this, where you get an additional $50 off. So I will make sure that we post this in the chat. And also,
and again, we can put all this in Ben Kinney agent training too for you, if you guys are driving and and whatever. Hey, Rachel, our time is up, but I want to wrap this up by number one, thanking you for that incredible mine of information. I mean,
a lot of info. I'm a fire hose. I told you. I love
it. And I think almost all social media trainings are like that. I mean, they kind of have to be.
There's just so much to tell.
I want to end it this way. I want to kind of wrap this up in a bow for everybody like this. You guys, okay, if you look at Rachel's gorgeous, polished, amazing social media, and if you followed her over the years, I can see what you're thinking in your head. You're like, I am going to wait until I get the professional photo shoot. I'm going to wait until I can have a graphic designer do my stuff. I know what you're thinking. I don't want you to do it. But you just jumping in and starting to do this over and over will start developing your digital personality and your digital footprint. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Yep. Your mediocre social media will beat somebody's non-existent social media every time. And if you're not jumping in and just doing it, you have non-existent social media. So you've got to start just coming to peace with, this is what you look like, get on video. You just like, trust me, from someone who has to see it's hard, but you just have to kind of push past it. You don't have to have professional photo shoots. I mean, you can move to that, later on. But I just want to encourage you guys to start. Yeah. And Rachel's rules are great, right? But don't get caught up in it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be done.
Exactly. And I think too, I like the posts that I get the most interaction on are not the fancy photo shoots. It's me at home, no makeup on, just sharing something I learned or whatever. It's the real relatable stuff is what people want from you. The perfect polished, those Instagram feeds that just look stunning. They're beautiful, but you scroll through them because they're so pretty, but you don't actually learn anything. You're not going to usually work with those people. They're just pretty to look at. You want to be real, relatable, and approachable.
If you want a really good feed, my favorite social media feed is Sarah Blakely is, the founder of Spanx, and she's a billionaire. And it's not it's not overly polished at all. She has a phenomenal feed, right? Phenomenal feed. Get on hers. Just start posting, guys. Just start posting. I just want to leave with that. Like I just, pick one or two things. Like I love what Rachel said, make the list of your 5 things. Post 5 times, a week, even if you have to just, spend 2 hours and do all your posts, like Rachel said, at once, like do it, I do what Rachel does. I do latergrams all the time where I'm the same as you, Rachel. I didn't know you did that, but like I have stuff from last week that'll get posted. I don't ruin my moments anymore. There was a time where I did that. I don't do it anymore. Now I just enjoy taking the pictures in the moment and I save it.
Totally.
Well, thank you, my friend. We will upload all the things on, so it's benkinneyagenttraining.com, and you can watch any of our replays, like I said, on our YouTube channel. You just search Ben Kinney on YouTube, click subscribe, and then it's a playlist, is the agent training playlist. And next week, it is all about database. So we will see you next Wednesday at noon, live right here. And have a great week, everybody. Thank you, Rachel.
Bye. Thanks so much for having me.
Bye.